Hey everyone, welcome back to Bros and Shows. I'm your host, Josiah, aka Mauler67. And with me, as always, you know I got my buddy, I got my pal, I got my brother Austin. Austin, how you doing today?
Not too bad. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing pretty good. I can't really complain.
Ooh, I can always complain.
Yeah, well, Austin, whenever someone says, I'm not doing so bad, I can't complain, the I can't complain part there, Austin, is the idea that it's like, if I did complain, it would be inconvenient. So,
yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Let's be fair here.
Yeah.
Don't make me sit here and be a ore dump for you. I don't want that. But yeah. How go, Austin?
Mhm.
Man, I don't know. Like, I gotta be honest with you. So, for the last week, I've been really worried because my leg stuff has been hurting really bad, like my back and leg and everything.
No.
And I went to the orthopedic back in December, and they're like, well, it's not a hip thing, so we'll just give you a shot of cortisone and get over your life type deal thing. And if it helps, then come back whenever it wears off, and we'll figure out what to do. Well, it wore off, and it hurts again. Not the same way, at least. But I then proceeded to start leaning the other way as I sat. I want to say it was Monday. Yeah, it was Monday when I did this. No, it was yesterday. It was Tuesday. I leaned to the left the whole day as I worked. And when I stood up, the pain was subsided substantially. And then as I was standing there talking with someone, I leaned harder on my left side, and I suddenly felt two cracks in my back, two consecutive crack. And the pain instantly removed itself. It stopped. And I was just kind of shocked by it. Austin, are you there? I think his thing crashed. We got ourselves a crashed boy. Oh, that's hilarious. He's done in the perfect little off to the side pose. But yeah, no, my back feels good now. I'm gonna message him and see if he knows. I'm sure he knows. Maybe he called, text me. I'm like, bro, you crashed. Or if you didn't crash, then you ain't doing something. There he goes. He popped out stream finally. You crashed. All right, well, until Austin gets back in, we'll figure out. Hopefully everything's good with his computer. If anything, I will suspend the stream until after he gets back. I assume he'll be fine. All right, he responded. Yes. Okay, no, he just here on crashed. So to just kind of go over some things until Austin gets back. Austin has a schedule change that has effectively happened. We don't know when exactly it will come into effect. That's one of the things that I'll be talking to him tonight. But because of that, it's going to change when we stream Bros and Show, which normally shows on Wednesdays at this time. We'll probably end up moving that. I don't know when, what time slot it will be that we move it to. But that is most likely going to happen. It will probably be a Thursday or Tuesday or something like that. Whatever day he has available. Because up to this point, he was able to work Wednesdays pretty consistently and have no issues. Now he has to work nights on Wednesday, so that's not going to be a thing. If we do the weekend, who cares? We're good. We'll do it. But that would be. Hey, welcome back.
Hey, sorry guys.
You were in
crashed.
You were in kind of a weird pose for a bit, and I was like, he's just listening to me talk about my back issue, and that's fine.
Yeah, no, everything it didn't my internet crashed. It was just the internet. I think it needed updated. I haven't restarted the router in a minute.
Oh, okay.
So it like all just crashed down. Everything was like off air, off air, off air. I was like, oh man, that sucks. So, but
what
now
can
we're
you do?
back. We're back now.
You do. You're back. That's all that matters.
Technology.
Technology, am I right, people?
Yeah.
But no. I don't know what you heard. My back's doing a lot better because of the popping.
Oh, the popping.
Yeah, I don't know what you got to whenever I was talking to you. So
No,
I'm just
all I heard was like I went back, and that was like you said something about going to the doctor, and you're like, they gave me a shot of cortisone.
Oh man,
and that
you
was
didn't
the end
hear
of it.
anything, man.
No.
Hi, Molly. Love you.
No.
Thank you. For
I'm
showing
glad
up.
that your back is feeling better. We don't want to bore all these lovely people that are listening to us about it again. But
twice. Yeah. But just know back's doing better. I also, while you were gone, informed about your schedule change that will be happening. Once you figure out what your schedule is, we can make that official, an announcement of that sort. And then also next week we're not going to finish Being Humans. We're doing season 3 this week, and then next week we'll do Invincible season 2.
Yeah, because it just finished up last week.
Because it just finished up, and then the week after we'll finish up Being Human.
Yep. Yes. 100%. Well,
Sorry, I was enjoying my cat for a second.
Oh no, I get you.
So yeah, Austin. I mean, do you want to just get into it, or do you want to talk about yourself for a little bit, your little crash that just happened, or anything?
Yeah, I don't know. It might happen again. I don't know. I'm getting some weird spot on you, but so no, really, nothing really going on. I just finished my semester of college and I passed all my classes. I'm hearing back from my apprenticeship here in a little bit, so hopefully that gets resolved real soon. So I figured that out. This weekend you're coming down. You're actually coming down tomorrow.
Yep.
We're gonna go see Clue, the play. I saw like we were gonna go see Book of Mormon, and then I was looking up plays. I was like, man, it'd be cool to go to another play. And then I saw Clue was happening. I was like, oh man, he would love that. So I found out that it is not inspired. It is inspired from the movie. Like it's the dialogues from the movie instead of like from like its own thing. It's like dialogue from the movie supposedly, but it's got different endings and stuff. I don't know. I've heard like other people said it was amazing, so I'm pretty happy about it. Someone went tonight and they said it was really good, so I'm pretty stoked for it this weekend.
Heck yeah.
And then you got to go back because you got VTM on Saturday. So
Yeah.
basically,
like I'm coming down tomorrow, and then Tuesday we're going to the show. Now, are we staying out there?
Oh no, it's in Columbus.
It's in Columbus. Oh, that's even better. I thought we were going to Kentucky. No, Kentucky is the Book of Mormon one.
Oh no, that's Pennsylvania. That's Williamsport.
Wait, I thought we were going to Kentucky.
No. Williamsport, Pennsylvania is where we're going. It's a 3-hour drive from you, so like you don't have to come anywhere. Like I'm coming out to you.
You're coming to me.
And then I'm picking you up. And then I'm driving.
That's so much chiller. Like this whole time, I thought that you were coming out to me.
Oh,
I thought I was driving out to you. Then we were both driving out to Kentucky, watch the show, and then drive back. Like that's totally what I thought was happening.
No,
it's so much cooler. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's Williamsport. It's about 3 hours away from you.
That's stuff.
And what's really cool is the hotel that I picked up is like here's the community center that they have, the stage or whatever they're having the Book of Mormon at, and here's the hotel. So like it's just in walking distance, and I was like, man, and it's not expensive at all. And then I looked up like we were talking about going to see Little Shop of Horrors, and they are doing one that's not on Broadway, and guess where it's at? New York City still. It's just in a different performing arts, and like nothing against that. Like I'm okay driving 5 hours, I'd be fine, but I don't like New York City. So
the funny thing is, right? Like I live in Pittsburgh, and Pittsburgh is not considered a small city. But if I think of like, if this was like a boss mode, right? Pittsburgh is like the cerulean city.
Yeah.
And then freaking New York is the
New York
city.
and LA.
It's like,
New York and LA is like that, and Chicago's kind of like that in a way.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing is, like, I went to Chicago. I like Chicago. when you're in the city of Chicago, the one key thing I'll note is that the city of Chicago is better planned than Pittsburgh. Because in Pittsburgh, you have the downtown area, which can be big and vast, but it is so like badly patched together that's it's not really a city. Like you'll walk around and be like, it's a city because there's big buildings or whatnot. Then you go to Chicago and there's literal areas that it's like super big buildings, nice urban area, super big buildings, construction. Like it's very
I thought about going to Chicago for my birthday actually, because we thought about going to Albuquerque, but Albuquerque's pretty far away and it's a lot. I would like to do like Chicago and go to the Field Museum. That is the museum that has the lionesses from the movie The Ghost in the Darkness. It's pretty much like what it is like they have the lions that they killed. They're the biggest lions ever recorded. They're like massive lions, like big lionesses. Like they killed over like I think 52 people in Africa. And there's a whole movie about it called The Ghost in the Darkness with Val Kilmer about them hunting these lions. But also too is someone opened up a original beef restaurant from the bear, and it is at the original spot where the bear was filmed at season 1. So I think it's called Original Beef, and they serve sandwiches and stuff, and it's like made for like a movie set so that they can still film there supposedly. From time to time, but I was like, man, that'd be kind of cool to go see that. But also, I've never been to Second City. I've heard like, so many other people talk about it. I don't think
Second City is still a thing.
Really? It's not?
I believe it closed down during COVID.
No, man.
And I think there's a new theater up, but it's not Second City or the IO theater as it was. I could be wrong. There's a podcast I listen to called Hey Rail Real. They all do Second City and IO stuff. But I remember during COVID they talked about how it closed and they had to go get all their stuff because it's like, hey, this there's no longer a thing. And but then I also distinctly remember a episode where they talked about it being opened up in a different way or in a different manner, because like that thing packed places. Like it was a good revenue thing. Just COVID hit during a time that it was not like making as much money as it prior would, So check it out because it could be. I would love to go back to Chicago with you.
It looks like it's still open. It's called Second City. Yeah, it still says Second City.
Maybe I'm just thinking of the IO theater.
Yeah, because there's 3 of them now. There's 3 different Second Cities. There's one in New York, there's one in Chicago, and then there's one in Toronto now. It looks like someone did that. It's the same Second City, it looks like, because it shows like all the people that were part of their history. Like there's Mike Myers, there's Steve Carell, there's Tim Meadows, Dan Aykroyd, Chris Farley.
No, it looks it looks like it's all still good.
Yeah, I've always wanted to go there to see that, so that'd be kind of cool. That would be worth it. Like I would love to go see that probably. But past all that, so pretty much nothing else really has gone this week except we're gonna go see Clue. So and a lot of fun. We went from Clue to Little Shop of Horrors in New York City into like Pittsburgh, and then into Chicago and like the Original Beef, and now we just ended up here. So actually, but we talked about it.
Pretty cool.
Yep.
Sorry, now I'm just looking at their website for all the different shows. They got. Hold up, give me a second. I just saw that they still have Improvised Shakespeare. Gotta see who's the cast. Gotta see my boy on it. Where's the cast?
Oh no.
I can't see where they say anything about the cast. All right. Matt Young does Improvised Shakespeare there, and I'm a big fan.
Well, I know if he does that, I know someone that would go with us to see that because he likes Matt Young also too. So
okay, cool. And they also still have World News Tonight, which I will say this 100%. Even if the people I like are not in those shows, I would still want to see those shows because those shows are very entertaining. Like they have good, solid people doing those shows, and so and then like also just maybe figuring out other ones that would be like, hey, this one's a really good too. Oh yeah,
that'd be fun.
Yeah, I don't want to sit here and just be like, ooh, improv, because like I can do that any day. I do that all the time with Dropout TV anyways. Boston, let's talk about the show that we watched this week. Season 3 of Being Human. Twists on twists on annoying twists. Austin, what did you think of season 3 of Being Human?
A lot happened this season. Yeah,
it did.
There was a lot. Interesting stuff. Pretty interesting. I still enjoyed this season. I really did. So excuse me.
Someone didn't enjoy it enough to be able to talk about it, though.
No, this season had some really interesting points. It had some things that were like you kind of could predict those things to happen.
Yeah.
But overall, it was not bad. Like it wasn't like something where I was like, "Oh, this is awful. I don't want to watch this anymore." It followed season 2 pretty well. It also had some great points of, I think maybe character development really happened a lot in the season 2. But also too is we got some more like, I feel like this show was doing really well, and then they decided to end it, and it wasn't them deciding to end it. It was like the people that produced the show was like, hey, they're telling us we're getting canceled, but we get an ending season. I just feel like that's happening. I don't feel like it's just like, oh, hey, we're just doing 4 seasons and we're done. Not like how Breaking Bad was or anything like that, where it's like, oh, we're gonna go to this, that's it, And I feel like there was some, I don't know, there was some things that were kind of too predictable. That was the only problem I had with this season.
Like what? Can you go into more detail?
Okay, so there's the incident with Sally, and like Sally coming back, and then like, they go in and they use Sally's heart to like, like save her from the witch.
Yeah.
And then the witch shows up at the end, and I'm like, yep, I knew it was gonna be like, I predicted that already.
Yeah, well,
it was
so to be fair, right? And this was the big thing that I had semi issue with, that they do in this season, and I get frustrated because this season had a lot of great points and then a lot of very annoying points to me.
Yes.
Like rewatching this, I remember these things happening, and I remember not having an issue then. Now that I have become more versed when it comes to TV shows because you freaking forcing me to watch a bunch of shows, like I am much more in this concept and this understanding of like certain show writing. And I very much feel like some of the writings was on par with the Dan and Dave from Game of Thrones of, we kind of forgot, right?
Yeah.
For instance, ghosts. Why do ghosts randomly appear and then not appear, right? The 2 girls they kill in season 2, boom, they magically appear now. And then halfway through, they kind of forget. Like, they kind of forget their thing. Ray gets murdered. Ray doesn't have a ghost. Why doesn't he have a ghost? No. It's not explained, right? And so, like, there's little things like that. And the thing that made me the most frustrated about this season wasn't anything huge. It was a very simple thing, and it was Nora's feelings about Aiden during the whole problem with Liam / whatever the one girl werewolf name is. That got me so frustrating mad. Because Josh and Aiden all have a history. They've been helping and being with each other this whole time. And they're just introducing this Nora being like, I don't like Josh. I don't like Aiden. Aiden has done these horrible, horrible things, and I can't trust him. And he attacked this girl. Like, I'm like, this is bad writing for 3 big things, right? 1, she has a cell phone. If she got knocked the heck out, they would look at her cell phone. 2,
Yeah.
when she got knocked the heck out, she had a literal stake on her. Are you telling me that after Aiden kicks her into the wall and books fall everywhere, Josh didn't clean up and be like, what the freak is this stake doing here? Right? Like, it was like simple thing. It's like they just forgot to, and it was bad, like, writing up story. And I acknowledge that because that was very frustrating. The one thing I did like, right? The whole style or theory of like a virus taking hold of vampires because humans were able to get immunization shots, but the immunization shots don't work for vampires and thus they die of the virus. And the only way they find out, hey, you become immune if you drink a bit of werewolf blood and it cures you of the virus. I'm like, that's a freaking awesome like story concept. That it's like, hey, this thing that we naturally do not want, one drip, like one sip of blood cures you of it. I'm like, that makes so much sense. Now explain to me why in the end of the show they're literally 3 vampires drain a single werewolf dry after season 2 shows us that it's revolting for the vampires.
Yep.
That makes no freaking sense. They wanted to kill off that person with that story. I'm like, 3 vampires who despises blood. Aiden drank a small bit of Josh and he was perfectly good and he was disgusted the whole time. It doesn't make sense. Like, it make sense, it does. It's bad writing. But I still very much enjoyed like other beats of this season, like a lot. All of Sally's beats I really enjoyed. Even you talking about how it was kind of predictable with like certain things. Yeah, for sure, it was 100% predictable with like the whole zombie thing. You're like, we get it. You're going to become a flesh-eating zombie. We see you numbing on those chips really hard. Every scene she's being shown with more and more food. That's good, like, story writing to like work you into this idea that they have an insatiable hunger, and it's for flesh, raw flesh, fresh. I did find it funny that they took so long to remember about her other friend. Like, they're all like, oh, Nick, yeah, Nick. Oh no, Nick went bad. Oh gosh, what about Pete, the other kid who like left to be on his own? He doesn't know. We have to warn him. Like, I guarantee you he has murdered a homeless person. Nope, murdered his whole family. That's just so much better. So, all right, Austin, I'm done right now. You talk about the show. Like, what were some things that you feel about?
Okay, so I don't know. Like, it was a lot of predictability though. I did enjoy, you know, I kind of knew that, like, you know, it was, what was very interesting is when we find out that actually Nora wasn't the one that killed him at the end of season 2. It was actually Josh. Josh was the one that actually beat him down with a rock and killed him. It was actually him. So then they thought like the curse was over. Well,
no, you're 100% right. Kill him. I just wanted to say this real quick. I find it funny that he's like, I can't shoot him. That would be real messed up. And then he proceeds to beat his head in with a rock.
Bash his head in.
It's like, yeah, Josh, that's so much better, buddy.
Yeah. You know what? On. Yeah. I just can't see him die. I just want to remove his face completely so I can't see his horrible face. No, I thought that was interesting that we got to see that, but I kind of felt that was predictable. I was like, oh, well, you know, he's going to protect her and kill him anyways. I kind of also knew the whole, like, you know, she wouldn't be turned back. And the reasoning why is because I'm pretty sure how that works is since he turned her, he would have to die for her to, like,
well, it's because they lied to her, saying that if they kill the person, it's not just you, it's your lineage.
Oh yeah.
And that's why they all thought that. But I agree. Like, when he became human, I'm like, she didn't change. She's a werewolf still.
And I knew that it was going to happen this whole season. Once he became human, it was like, oh, he's human now. I was like, sooner or later, they can't keep him around to be a human. He's got it. Like, it had to be both of them, or it had to just be just, you know, it had to be both of them or none of them. Like, that's why I knew. I was like, sooner or later, something's going to happen. He's going to be a werewolf again. The ending on him, though, him being a werewolf now, and I think a permanent werewolf.
Yeah.
Like, I was like,
that's a good
interesting.
twist, right? Like,
Yeah, I was like,
that's
that was
legitly when I finished up watching the season, and she's just like Josh, and then it's him in wolf form. I went like, I forgot about this. What? Gonna do this?
I hope this doesn't interwake something inside of me. No, I'm just kidding. No. Yeah. So like, I'm pretty interested in that whole story. I think it's fun. The other storyline that I liked actually this season was actually the guy that was going after Aiden because he killed his daughter, and the ending, the season finale where they were fighting. And then
Liam. Okay, yeah.
Liam.
When you said the guy, I didn't think you meant the werewolf guy.
If they're not if they're not in the show all the time, I don't really their names like escape me.
No.
And then
that's
2 weeks later,
fair.
I'll think of them. But
I just find it funny that like I think it's because I like the show a lot. Like I very much enjoy the show that I am easily like absorbing the characters' names. But like when it came to Breaking Bad, you were the exact opposite, right? Yeah. Like I couldn't remember people's name to save my butt outside of Walter and Jesse. And you're over here being like, but Badger or whatever the dude's name is, he's so funny. I'm like, who the freak is that?
Pete, you know. No, I get that. Yeah. Badger and Pete. Sneaky Pete, you know.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So yeah, sure. Well, that's also too is like I even know like weird characters from that show. Like people are like Spooge, you know, and they're like, who's that?
Oh,
there wasn't a character on that. And like everyone loves Spooge, and it's like, no, I don't know who that is. I was like, that's the guy that gets his head dropped
with the
like
ATM.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know that.
I remember that.
So
because that was a pretty messed up scene. I like that.
Yeah, it was. Nice. Brutal. So Aiden, you know, what I thought, I knew this was so predictable. You know, they stopped and Aiden like looks in that room and he's like, who's that? And it's that boy that's in like the bubble. And I was like, instantly, he's going to turn him. I was like, he's going to somehow turn him because he feels bad for him or something. And of course, I think his name's Kenny. I think that's his name. I don't remember.
I don't remember.
I think his name is Kenny. Because what was weird, he had black hair, correct? Like when he
was
first
like
saw him?
brownish. It was like dark brown.
And now it's like blonde.
No, it's still brown. It turns like a very like blondish whenever he becomes like the monstrosity when he becomes the Nosferatu at the end of the season.
Yeah. So
you know what's funny? You say like, oh, he's going to turn him. My brain actually went the same direction but in a different manner. I'm like, oh, okay, he found his blood source, right? Bubble person can't get vaccines because he will die, blah blah blah. Simple, easy. He found his vaccine, and it makes sense. Like very common in like VTM or like other vampire lores, it's very common for like vampires to like get ghouls or retainers who like do things for them, but before they turn them, they have to like serve under them for a while. That was a perfect ghoul situation. Look, your blood is the only blood I can drink. I want you to give me blood for so many years, and then I'll turn you into a vampire. Like that's a very common exchange of like vampirism, right? I just don't understand. And this is the one conversation I very much wanted Aiden to have with the kid was, hey, look, you're going to permanently be this age. Let's wait till you're 21. Give it 3 years. What's 3 years in the spans of eternity? Wait for 3 years until you're 21. You are old enough to do whatever you want. You will not be old and you will not be young enough. You will not look young, which is the big drawback. Because if you look like you're 18 forever, cool, you look like you're 18, but looking like 21 saves you a lot more issues, right? I don't understand why Aiden didn't use that approach with the kid. And the kid's like, no, I'm getting out of here. I'm done with being a bubble child. I'm like, I get you, dude, but wait till you're 21 at least. Like, I'll be honest, there's a level of me of like, if I got changed to a vampire, I probably would want to wait till I'm 30. Because if all the like body issues goes away and it's just my age, like, yeah, make me look like 30. Like 30 is a solid age.
Yeah.
Like I'm old enough to make sense why I look like I am staying inside my house all day. but I'm also like young enough to it not impossible for me to be like physically active, right? Like that just makes sense for vampires. Being turned really young never made sense to me. The idea of Louis and all of them in Interview with the Vampires never made sense to me. Like bad ideas. Season 2, Aiden with all of them, no, season 1, bad idea. Turning the kid. Turn a 30-year-old. Freak, dude, you're perfect. You're solid. Your frontal cortex is fully taken care of by that point. Yeah, but
yeah, it was you know, that whole storyline I got, but I don't know if, you know, the real interesting thing that I liked actually this season was finding out like these vampires were dying of this tainted blood, like this virus that was going on. And I will not forget watching the episode where the other vampires are driving in the van and he tells them about it, and then he just like disintegrates and like crash into that pole. I was like, wait, I had to like rewind it because I was doing something else at the time. Like I had it like in the background. I was like,
yeah, a little bit of the
what just happened? Wait, like what the heck? So like I had to rewind it. I was like, dude, that guy just like incinerated, you know, like completely disintegrated. He just disintegrated. There you go. And then you know, that was interesting stuff. I really thoroughly enjoyed that whole storyline. And then like the cure though was a little, I don't know, I didn't really like the whole cure that it's werewolf blood. I didn't really like that.
You didn't like that? I like that.
I don't know.
Because
I
like
think,
functionally, so my like of that is a two-part like for a reason, right? One, I love the fact that werewolf blood is really unsatisfying, like really bad for him, but it gives you the immune boost you need to overcome. Cool, that makes complete sense. Thing I really like about it is the side effect that once you take the werewolf blood in, you can no longer produce children of vampires correctly. You produce like monstrosities. That was such an amazing like story clinch to me.
Yeah, but I thought it was pretty cringe that like they got like the werewolf girl to like, you know, like set up the blood vials and like her put her own blood. I thought that was kind of cheesy, a little cheesy in a way. I was like,
not even just cheesy, just the whole thing about her like, oh, no one asked questions to her, and like I was telling this to like Jordan at work today. Because he watched Being Human before. He liked it. He was one of the people who told me about it whenever I first started watching it. Like in the first like minute that she's back, she talks. Like the first minute she's back, she gets brought back by Liam. They don't question how Liam found her, to what Liam did to her to convince her to come back. None of those questions were asked. 2, Josh finds her down in Aiden's room. No freaking sense. That makes no freaking sense. And he just passes off. I would have told Aiden that at least, right?
Yeah.
And then like the third and like the biggest thing is she's repeatedly speaking like one of his pack members. She's like, well, you know, you wouldn't know because you don't have a pack, or you're not one of us. You're not a wolf anymore. And I'm like, red flag. That's werewolf speak, right? She has been indoctrinated by a pack leader. And I'm like, come on, Josh. Even Nora, like, what the freak are you guys doing? You guys see this. You guys know this, right? Like, bad writing because they just kind of forgot.
Yeah, they just kind of forgot. Now, I did like one thing of Sally's, though, this season. I liked the concept as if Sally came back from the Black Witch, that she could not see anyone from her past life.
Yeah.
And I like the repercussion of it, like they die. And I was like, that's great. You know, like they die. And then when she was like, Sally, is that you? And it's like her brother. I was like, oh no, you could die. You know, but then I was like, she's going to try to figure something out that will save him. That's kind of like, you know, I know how writing works with that TV shows. And then it was like, the witch is like, you know, I can do this. He'll just be really sick. But like, once you're dead, once you die and decay, like I have your soul.
Yeah.
And I was like, ah, man. The thing is like,
which I do want to say real quickly, it must really feel bad that you do that for your brother and then he leaves town the second that you do it, right?
Yeah, man. Like also,
I truly felt like she got snubbed on that deal.
This this part of the show actually, oh man, it brought back something I forgot for a while now, and
Okay.
it's and ah man, it's rough. It's from my favorite book of all time. There's a part in that book where this kind of like storyline happens,
Mm-hmm.
and it's where like person has a body, but the body is decaying slowly. And I thoroughly enjoyed it, and it reminded me of American Gods, because in American Gods, that's what happens as one of the main characters in the show, in the book, and in this show. If you like that show, but the first season's great. But it reminded me of that, and like I was like, huh, I wonder if this is like a thing. So I'm gonna actually do a bunch of research on it as like something that's like a ghost thing. Maybe that's a thing about it that I never knew, because I don't really know a lot about ghost lore.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna try to look that up and see if there's like a connection there, and that's why they did it in both books. But I thoroughly enjoyed that whole connection that she had, where like she had to not see anyone from her past. She ends up like getting like a job in the coolest job actually, for like a ghost that's like now a human that can still see ghosts, is like in a funeral home, like a mortician. But then she ends up like dating her boss. That's weird. But yeah.
That whole love connection with her boss was weird. When his mom showed up, and I'm just like, she's literally haunting him to keep him like pure or whatnot. That's so messed up. And then the thing that like gave me a super bad ick, right, was whenever he looked at her and he's just like, people are going to be grieving here, and all I'm going to be thinking about is dirty sick Sally, or whatever he said. Like he said something like naughty Sally, that's it. And then he leaves, and I'm just like, that was the most disgusting thing to ever hear in my head. And this actor deserves a medal for acquiring that ick in my brain instantaneous by saying that.
Yeah.
I was truly remarkable. Like I was blown away by how badly that caused that ick. But then they just kind of keep going together, and he's really chill about the idea about his girlfriend being a flesh zombie.
Yeah. Oh man, that's I see, and that's the thing. Like that's what I like. Not to bring American Gods back up, but what I like about that part of the show, I mean, a part of that book, is when she approaches the person that she used to love and she tries to kiss him. Mm-hmm. She's like, he describes what she tastes like, and it's like, cold, like tastes like fish, like really rotten fish. And it's like, I was like, this guy's like making out with this chick while she's like decomposing. I was like, this is exactly it. But he's like kind of into it, so I'm guessing he might have a secret. You never know. Maybe. But what was really interesting with Sally was the whole witch ordeal showing back up. Yeah. The part where she drags her into the hole gave me the vibe of have you ever watched the movie? I think it's done by Sam Raimi. It's called Drag Me to Hell.
No, but I've heard of it. I heard of like the end scene at the subway or something like that.
Yep, where the witch drags her into the hell at the end. Like, it reminded me of that, but like we
better Google search this, buddies. Figure out which one came out first.
I think it actually, Drag Me to Hell had to be 2008.
2009.
I think 2009. Okay.
All right, so yeah, Drag Me to Hell came out first. Yeah. Sorry, I drank that wrong.
Well.
Speaking of which, I think the thing I really liked about Sally's part in this season, one is that she completely gets into her being like a non-zombie again.
Yeah.
I really, really love how like the decaying process gets stopped if you eat flesh. But then, like, you become insatiable to eat, like, you just can't stop eating. Like, that, love that whole thing. Makes complete sense. And I think the thing that really kind of like tied it all up nicely into a bow on top of that, right, is this idea that by the end of the season, she's a ghost again, but she's now somehow linked with the witch in some way, right? We don't know how exactly, but apparently they're both dead, or maybe just Sally's dead. Well, Sally is dead, but maybe the witch is not exactly dead. Maybe the witch is still in like a corporeal form. I'm still like, there's a side of me that's wondering if maybe this is still part of her deal. Like, she's doing something with Sally, like she intended for all this to happen. This is part of her deal to like remove this. But I don't know. I can't decide that. Josh getting turned back into a werewolf was highly predictable, but necessary. I do like the whole switch that, hey, it's not every new moon you are still I almost said vampire. You're still wolf when the morning came. That's like such a great horror shot to end the season on. And then like Aiden, freaking A, dude, like Aiden creating the little monster Nosferatu, dude, and the Nosferatu's, side note, I do want to say this, they have no issue with werewolf blood. Did you notice that? The second second Nora dropped, he started feeding on her. All other vampires are warded by that. He's not. So it's like he's a fear for all creatures. And so I'm like, I wonder, like, this is going to bite Aiden in the back, but like this will cause issue. And since season 4 is the end of the season, I assume this will have something to do with next season in some way. I don't remember season 4, to be fair. I didn't remember much of season 3. That's why I think I spoke so much about it today, is because I was looking at it from the lens of someone who didn't remember most of it. But I enjoyed it. Also, their CG is getting a lot better in this season compared to their earlier seasons.
Yeah.
All the body horror of Sally was really good. I really liked the whole scene where she like pokes the toothbrush into her mouth. That got a guttural reaction out of me at work. Like I would, and people were like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, no, I'm fine." And then the tooth falling, like, oh no. That legitly got me a little bit. So
yeah,
props to them. Like, dang.
Well, see, like, I see, the thing is it didn't really affect me too much about the decaying thing. Like, I've seen that. Yeah, I think the decaying thing in American Gods is a little bit more than that. Like, it goes into pretty bad detail.
That's a newer series. This was 10 years ago.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, so like that would be.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah. Yep. It's interesting, you know. And then we see that Liam keeps his little boy alive. My boy, my rotten soldier. You know, he keeps him alive a little bit because he tells him to run, like at the end.
That's
like
Aiden. That's Aiden.
Aiden. Oh wait, wow.
Liam is the purebred.
Liam. Yeah, Liam's the purebred. Aiden tells his boy Kenny to run. I think his name's Kenny. I don't know, but and he also fed off of Nora.
That's what I just said.
Nora.
No issue whatsoever doing that too.
No issue. He's like, whatever. We forgot Nora and Josh got married.
That was a pivotal part. That was fun. Aiden had the one vampire girl mesmerize Kate.
Yeah, Kate. Yeah.
To keep her from going crazy.
She's my friend. But yeah, it was. So yeah, there's gonna be a lot of interesting stuff in the next season because we're gonna see like
a lot of stuff happened this season. Like the more I think about it, a lot of stuff happened this season, and it has like long-standing effects, and that's what's going to be interesting about next season. And hopefully they wrap it up good, but we won't know until 2 weeks from now, because next week, Austin, we will be watching Invincible season 2 instead of Being Human season 4. We're taking a pause to make a slight detour to watch the show that we have been we've just been waiting for the last episodes to come out. We could have done it in the broken off sections, I guess.
So this is a little weird. I don't know if we should have talked about that before we started, but I don't know if we're gonna watch the Adam and the Eve episode because there is a separate special episode called Eve, and it's like an hour long. And then there was only 7 episodes this season, not 8.
Okay.
So I don't know I don't know if we want to do the Eve one or what, but yeah, we've been waiting for them forever. Like that's why we decided. If I would have known, I thought it was going to be 8 episodes. And then last week after we did the podcast, the new episode came out. It was like the season finale. It was like season finale.
What is season finale?
It's like episode 7, and then it's like, oh, there's only 7 episodes, and I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. So that's when told you, hey, like next week we'll have to do that. So yeah, so we're gonna do Invincible season 2. There's a lot of stuff that's actually gonna be coming out here soon, that we're gonna have to, because Fallout just premiered tonight on Twitch. The new series of Fallout. For any Twitch user, you could have watched it at 6 o'clock, but I can't find it anywhere. Like, I thought Amazon would have dropped it.
It comes out.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna wait until it's all out. But
I mean, I'm going to treat it like I do with the show. Like here's the thing, Austin. Right? We watch a whole season of a show every week for our show. I tend not to watch anything else other than that. I'll watch YouTube stuff off to the side and drop out stuff, but I will not watch a whole series because I'll just be like, I'll freaking just wait. And if it's worth watching, me and Austin's going to watch it for our show anyways. Yeah. So instead of me watching it early and then being like, oh yeah, I have to rewatch that. I'll just watch it whenever it's fully out. That doesn't bother me.
Yeah, because
except if it's what we do in the showers, that's a little different. I can't control myself there.
Yeah, no, and seriously, I can't do that with a couple shows actually, where I have to watch, when they do come out. When they do, Invincible was that way. And there's 2 other shows that we haven't covered on the podcast yet that I'm starting to get into just watching them every week.
Okay.
But we got Invincible, then we got Being Human season 4. So yeah.
Yep.
I'm very excited.
That is the goal for next 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So Austin, I think that basically covers it for our episode of Being Human. Pretty solid, pretty good. A lot of little things that we can nitpick. I think the writing was fine and good. I think it was it had a lot of great highs and a couple lows for me personally, but that's how life goes. But I would prefer that over just a very meh show, right? So anyways, Austin, thank you so much for joining me on today's episode. Sorry about the little spat you had where you lost your internet. Got to kind of ramble to myself for a bit before I realized. But to everyone else out there, thank you guys so much for tuning in for that small rambling and the show. Until then, thank you so much for stopping by.